This is video 1 for quarter 3 language study. We're now focusing on subject-verb agreement, so we have to find the subjects and verbs just like we were trying to find first quarter and make sure that they agree with each other. And there are certain rules to follow to make sure that your writing and your speech sounds correct. So here's video 1. It's going to go along with exercise 1, which is the very first page in your packet. It says number 1, subject-verb agreement in number. All right, the basic premise here is that a verb must agree with its subject in number. That means if a word is singular or plural or not. A singular verb takes a singular subject and a plural verb takes a plural subject. It's as simple as that. It makes a difference, of course, if you're dealing with regular verbs or irregular verbs, which we're going to talk about in the next slides. Regular verbs, pretty straightforward. If you've got a singular subject, such as dog, only one dog, it takes a singular verb, which would end in an S, eats. So the dog eats his food like a whirlwind. Singular subject, singular verb. If I've got a plural subject, meaning more than one dog, dogs, I do a plural verb which does not end in S. So the dogs eat their food like whirlwinds. Notice I had to change a couple other things, like I had to make my pronoun agree. This is my plural pronoun. And I had to make this plural as well to agree. What we're really focusing on here is subject and verb agreement though. So this is pretty straightforward. I think this is something you guys are pretty good at. Let's take a look at irregular verbs though, where I think some of the problems occur. So irregular verbs are irregular in that they're not the same. So we have to sort of memorize the conjugations for them. Let me see if I can move this down. There we go, and we can see all of it. Basically, this is where your Spanish or your French or your German come into play. I hope that in your classes you've done a little bit of this. It's like a conjugation chart with the singular subjects on one side and the plural subjects on the other. So here are my singular subjects, I, you, he, she, or it, and my plural subjects are we, you, and they. And it just depends on the regularity of the verb, what is the correct one. So I've put a couple of the most common irregular verbs, to have and to be. If this is not second nature to you, you really ought to pause the tape right here and write it down. Because we use have to be plural and singular, and has is only singular. And then if we're going to do the past tense of this verb, it's only had. Over on to be, we have are is singular and plural, am, which we only use for I, and is, which we only use as singular for he, she, and it. And then over here, it's a little bit similar. Were, and then was and was, which only goes with those two. So if this isn't second nature, as I said, you should stop and write this down. Couple special cases. If you have a verb phrase, like a helping verb, like this, has been selling, I've got a verb and two helping verbs, then the first helping verb is the one that agrees with the subject. So in this case, it's has. Has agrees with store, because store is singular. It would be like it has been selling. In this case, it's going to agree with, again, the first helping verb, which is have. And that's because I've got a plural verb, stores have. Oops. So examples from your packet. I hope that last page didn't go through too fast. I accidentally clicked my mouse. So these are a couple of the very first ones in the exercise. Are they correct or not? My favorite bakery sell 12 different kinds of bagels. Well, I've got to find my subject first. It's bakery. Bakery is singular. There's one bakery, so I need a plural verb here, and I don't have one. So it's incorrect. It needs to be bakery sells. So I've got a singular subject and a singular verb. Over here, Brad spends hours at basketball practice. Where's my subject? Brad. Brad is singular. And this verb is singular too because I added the S. So that one's correct. So what you should do here is make sure that you understand all of this, and we can spend some time in class tomorrow working on exercises 1 and exercise 1, pardon me. And then if you have any questions, we can answer them in class.